First, the ultimate insult. That's the focus of tonight's angle. Given the failures of Kamala Harris's economic and border record, her press team is left with recycled lines from 2016 and 2020.
Donald Trump is very good at insulting people.
Donald Trump sticks to the same old tired playbook of insults.
But the real insults come from Kamala herself, don't they? Because she insults our intelligence every time she sits down for even a friendly interview.
Hi, I'm Kamala Harris, and this is the Wired autocomplete interview. How to pronounce Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. What does Kamala Harris stand for? I am a daughter of parents who are active in the civil rights movement. Kamala Harris laughing. I love to laugh. Kamala Harris, Taylor Swift. I am very proud to have the support of Taylor Swift.
Was that for a kindergarten class? What was that? I thought it was a joke. My staff says it's real. It could not have been a softer interview and presentation. The only missing line or missing question was, do you like long walks on the beach? She could reveal that as well. And as for the one-on-one with liberal billionaire Oprah Winfrey, if there was such a thing as a verbal foot rub, this would be it.
It seems to us that something happened to you the moment President Biden, stepped aside and withdrew his candidacy, that a veil or something dropped and you just stepped into your power.
What was that? But then came the surprise questions, and they were really kind of tough. Like, how are you going to reduce the high cost of living?
Really would love to know what your plan is to help lower the cost of living.
Yours is a story I hear around the country as I travel. And in terms of both rightly having the right to have aspirations and dreams and ambitions for your family, and working hard and finding that the American dream is, for this generation and so many recently, far more elusive than it's been. And we need to deal with that. And there are a number of ways.
Far more elusive, the American, what? I love how she acts like some external force caused inflation, by the way, not her and Joe's idiotic spending bills. Now, that's insulting, and it's also arrogant to believe that Americans should vote for you even as you are unwilling or maybe unable to explain your policies. Her answers kind of remind me of that college kid who, when called on by the professor, hasn't done the class reading, so he or she just merely restates the question posed, as Kamala did on the question of how she's going to fix the border.
I have prosecuted transnational criminal organizations for the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings. My work and my career has always been about saying, let's fix problems. Let's address the needs, because we know it's within our capacity to do that.
Even Oprah seemed frustrated.
So to answer Justin's question, now that that bill has gone and hasn't passed, will you reintroduce that?
Absolutely.
At this point, Oprah's got to be thinking to herself, man, I just should have run for president myself. It would have been easier than live coaching this woman. Now, every exchange was an easy Kamala layup. And by the end of the interminable 68 minutes, Oprah had allowed Harris to kind of rebrand herself from an anti-Second Amendment fanatic to a modern-day Annie Oakley.
I'm a gun owner. Tim Walz is a gun.
I did not know that.
If somebody breaks in my house, they're getting shot.
Yes, yes, I hear that. I hear that.
Probably should not have said that.
But
my staff will deal with that later.
Yeah. I'm sure they would have thought it was just perfect for Trump to laugh if he said someone would get shot if it came into his home. They would have, oh yeah, they would have said, oh, it's heartless, you have no compassion. What if you shoot the wrong person? This is just more insults to our intelligence. And of course, it was all calculated, but it was poorly carried out rebranding. Kamala's just like you. But then you think to yourself, I don't speak like the words of one of those lame motivational posters hanging in your company break room.
We believe in what is possible. We believe in what can be. And we believe in fighting for that. That's how we came into being. Freedom to just be. And that's who we are. We believe in all that.
The freedom to just be. I love how Oprah goes, Note her use of the phrase, how we came into being there. And again, the freedom to be. Freedom to be, unless you're one of the infants in the womb who's aborted in Kamala's dreamland. And speaking of that, today she uttered more insulting drivel about abortion in Atlanta. Her language was crafted specifically to mislead the public.
I made the decision early in my life that I wanted to do the work that was about protecting the most vulnerable among us and doing the work that was about giving them dignity in the process.
Most vulnerable among us? How about those who can't yet speak for themselves? How condescending, though. Condescending to women, who, by the way, are poorer than they were 4 years ago, are less safe than they were on the streets 4 years ago, and less confident in the future than they were 4 years ago. But Kamala's crack group of high-paid pollsters and consultants believe that women's first, second, and third most important concerns are abortion, more abortion. Now, that's just not an insult to single cat ladies, as they call them. It's an insult to women across the board. Just as is her entire duck and cover campaign. That's an insult to every American who goes to work, who goes to school every day, and is judged on the results of their work. Now, we have to remember, Harris has always benefited in her career from special treatment, including in this campaign. Now, she didn't have to go to win the Iowa caucuses or tramp through the snows of New Hampshire to convince voters there. And she doesn't have to do press conferences with hostile reporters, as Trump does. She hasn't had to explain her policy toward China or Russia. Her role is simply to repeat platitudes and memorize phrases.
We love our country. I love our country. I know we all do. That's why everybody's here right now. We love our country. We take pride in the privilege of being American.
I thought she said we were systemically racist. How do you take pride in that kind of country? And hope that the hundreds of millions of dollars that she's raised from millionaires and billionaires are going to be enough to drown out Trump's message of peace and prosperity. That's what they're hoping for. And if she wins, the establishment's going to make use of this template for all future campaigns, where the voters are kept in the dark, receive no assurances about anything, and they just simply dine out on celebrity endorsements and personality plays. This is a complete rejection of the democratic process from the phony defenders of democracy. And it's one big insult to all of us. We're treated like subjects, not citizens. And that's the angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.